Bring on the discrimination. Pour water on my face. Beat up my grandpa and grandma. We still have higher GPA than you. You will not stop us. We are Asian. We still make more money than you. What's up, everyone? It's Asian Man back again with another reaction. Today we'll be reacting to a video called Why Everyone Hate Asian American. This video is made by the same guy who made the video Why Everyone Hate Asian Male, which I also react to.
You still think of yourself Chinese, or do you ever think of yourself as North American?
Asian piece of shit.
Go back to whatever Asian country you belong in.
You're so Asian.
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 A wave of violence against elderly Asian Americans.
Crimes against Asian Americans have risen drastically.
Another man knocked to the ground in broad.
It's one thing to attack people in their 20s or 30s or 40s, but to attack elderly for no reason is uncalled for. And there was a lot of hate from other races against Asian during COVID, right? Because COVID apparently originated from China, but people can't tell which Asian is China, which Asian is Korean, Japanese. They just see everyone as Asian. But yeah, it was pretty bad, man. It was pretty bad.
Daylight.
So tired of living in fear.
All I can think about is what if it happens to my dad.
Wake up. I want him to stay alive.
You know what I want to think of myself? As a human being.
Asian Americans are in a very unique.
So just to comment on the Bruce Lee comment right there. So when you're a famous person, people don't see you as your race. You become known for whatever you become known for. So people such as Bruce Lee, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, they are known for being great at whatever their field is. They don't become known for their race. Those people transcend their race. But not everyone can get to that level.
Situation where they face many challenges but don't really have any allies, not even Asians in Asia. So let's talk about why that.
If you guys didn't know, there's a hate triangle between China, Japan, and Korea because these countries, they fought with each other for a long time. However, the other race, they don't see Asian as Chinese, Japanese, or Korean. They see everything as Asian.
That's the case and what Asian Americans can do about it. Now, intuitively, you would think Asians in Asia would support Asian Americans. But that is not always the case because if you think about the main challenges Asian Americans face, racism, discrimination,
Asian, I will kill you all Asian. It's just like we're buying food.
hate crimes,
I shouted for help, but nobody helped me.
and never being considered real Americans.
That I don't look American enough. This is sustained from my service in the U.S. military. Now, is this patriot enough?
And Asian
So right here, he's showing his mark, right? And these lawmakers, they're like, you fake this. You fought against the American.
Patriot enough?
and
You're
Asian
not American enough no matter what you do.
person in Asia will find all these challenges completely unrelatable. Most Asians in Asia will never experience racism unless they travel overseas or purposefully consume.
Yeah, you can tell that the Asian in Asian country, then they never been to America, man. Because all the guys are very feminine. That's actually the fashion for Asian guys, is to look feminine. You try to do that in America, they'll just bully you to death. Also, the Asian in Asia country, they don't like Asian American because Asian Americans such as myself, we grew up in a different culture. Most Asian culture, they are a collectivist culture. That's why they are willing to work themselves to death through that crazy work culture, because that is part of their culture. They are willing to die for the greater good. In the American culture or Western culture, it's more about individualism.
Western media. And even if they are
Yes,
aware
Slade, I
of
agree with you.
anti-Asian hate in America, Most of
name
them don't
go
care
far,
because
baby.
it does not affect
name
them
go far.
personally. Also, even though Western society has a habit of lumping all Asians together, not all Asians are the same. There are almost 50 countries in Asia. They are all very different and proud of their own unique history and culture. And that history also includes a lot of conflict and hate. You always hear people say, Asians cannot be racist against Asians.
So I'm gonna disagree with this guy. I don't think I ever seen any white person or black person say Asian can't be racist against Asian. Actually, in fact, it's the opposite. Most people say, well, we can be racist to Asian because all Asian hate each other.
The ongoing conflicts between Asian countries right now. The point is, even though racists like to treat all Asians the same and tell us all to back to China, an actual person from China might not care if a hate crime happened to a Korean.
Yeah, this is a good point because of the hate triangle, right? So Chinese, Korean, Japan, they don't like each other. Why should they care if their enemy get attacked? That's a good point. So it's also why it's hard for Asian to organize as the group. People are still connected to their homeland.
Likewise, someone in Japan might not care if they see news about hate crimes against a Chinese or Indian American. While Asian Americans are often united by our shared struggles, Asians in Asia are not. And this brings me to my next point. Some Asians in Asia do not consider Asian Americans as Asians. They only consider them as Americans, which ironically is what a lot of Asian Americans want from other Americans, which makes sense because most Asian Americans are born in America.
This is really funny. So the Asian, they call us American, right? But then the American people call us Asian. We get the worst of both worlds, guys. No matter what we do, we're fucked.
Or they chose to move to America and become citizens. And since many Asians in Asia are very nationalistic, they look down on that and no longer consider them Asian. There also tends to be a clash between Eastern and Western values. In the West, it's all about individuality, choice, freedom of speech and expression, while in the East, it's all about social harmony, duty, and respect for authority. That's why some Asians in Asia don't care for Asian Americans because they are too westernized. And this is also the reason why Asians in Asia tend to stay quiet about social injustice. The societal norm is to keep your head down, mind your own business, don't cause any trouble, and even to discourage social movements like Black Lives Matter and stop Asian hate. But as Asian Americans are now learning the hard way, it only makes you look weak, an easy target. Now let's talk about Asian Americans and white America.
Okay, so on the... I said this in the other video, man. As much as I'm all for not complaining and about keeping your head down and work hard. Even if you can overcome it, it doesn't mean that it's still not unfair. So as much as I hate complaining, sometimes you have to complain. Just look at the admission to any Ivy League school, man. Asian, we have to be so much better than other races. You need like a 5.0 GPA. You have to know how to play the piano. You have to be a captain of your football team. You have to write the perfect essay. You have to do everything perfect just to get enroll into an Ivy League school. Why are we being penalized for being so good? I mean, we sacrifice our social life and everything.
AKA Western society. Now, just to be clear, I'm not talking about all white people. I'm talking about society as a whole. What I really want to focus on is, why is it so hard for Asian Americans to just be treated like normal Americans and individual people?
Why is that the case? It's because Asian is a min-max race. The goal for, I'm not saying this is 100%, but the goal for most Asian family, you have to do really well in school, right? You be an engineer, you be a doctor, you be a lawyer, you be anything that bring status, you bring money to the family. Now, other race, they don't have this type of expectation, but most Asian, we do everything we can to get into Harvard. We don't see life as like a fun thing. We see it as, it's kind of like playing The Sim. If you're an Asian person, you just get your need met and then you go back to study and then you try to max all your skill. All right, let's continue.
Why are Asian Americans always viewed as foreigners? Even though Asians have been in America since the 1800s, why are Asian Americans told to go back where they came from?
Another thing with Asian is we look completely different than the original people that migrated to the US, right? They are European white. So if you look like it doesn't even matter where you're from or what country you are, but if you look different compared to most of the population, you're gonna get hate. It's gonna be more difficult to assimilate because you look different. Unless you are a celebrity, then people will let you in.
Even if they were born in America, why are Asian American athletes told to stop taking medals away from white Americans? Why have so many Asian Americans given up on fighting against racism? And why do we have to constantly deal with this?
A good Asian doesn't act like a smartass when I ask them where are they from. Oh yeah, America. No, where are you really from?
Now what's interesting is, if we look at Asian American history, it makes sense why we face the challenges we do today. Chinese immigrants first arrived in America in the 1850s to work in dangerous low-wage mining and construction jobs. They were called the Yellow Peril, here to take white jobs. Over the next decades, Chinese people were lynched and killed without repercussion. And in 1882, the Chinese Exclusion Act was passed, which banned all Chinese from immigrating to America.
Yeah, I forgot about this. Man, the Chinese people, they had to deal with a lot of injustice during that time.
During World War II, Japanese people in America, including American citizens, were forced into internment camps. And in 1982, Chinese Americans...
So this is another thing why Asian in America, they don't consider themselves America. So even though the Asian don't like us, we still look like them. So when push come to shove, man, I'm not Asian American, I'm from Thailand, I'm Thai. At the end of the day, that's where my people are. I don't care if they hate me. I still rather be with them than with other races. If that's a war between the US and Thailand, I'm fighting for Thailand.
American Vincent Chin was killed by two white men because they blamed him, a Chinese American, for the Japanese auto industry causing them to lose their jobs. Neither of his murderers received any jail time. The point is, Asian Americans have never been viewed as true Americans or individual people by society at large. So it makes sense why that's still the case today. And it makes sense why the entertainment industry had white actors do yellowface. And it makes sense why the majority of Asian characters in media are written as embarrassing clowns where the joke is that they are Asian. And it makes sense why so many serious Asian characters are played by white actors. Only now do we find...
Yeah, so when it comes to movies, right, and video game, we see this with Assassin's Creed. So Asian people, we organize very badly. We have a lot of infighting between different countries, right? China, Japan, Korea. They don't really like each other. So it's very hard for Asian to group together and then promote positive image. And when there's no image, then other races will impose their image. You know what? The Asian America, we need to bite a bullet. You know, stop the hate between each other. We need to group. Okay, I know China, Japan, and Korea, Thailand, we all don't get along. The other races, man, they also not from the same country. White people, man, there's different type of white people. Irish don't like British, Scottish, you know, Germany, France, whatever. They were able to put their differences aside for the greater good. But it's gonna be hard to do because it was so successful in terms of making money. So other race gonna see is as, okay, why are you complaining? You already make so much money. Yes, we make a lot of money. We do. Yes, there's a lot of doctor Asian people. There's a lot of, engineer Asian people. But we sacrifice everything in our life to get there. We don't have anything else really in culture. As this guy said, man, people make fun of us in the mainstream media. The other races, they don't make as much money, but they have stuff going for them when it comes to stereotype. That's no good Asian stereotype, except for smart. But the first step is being aware that this is happening, and hopefully Asian can put their differences aside and band together for the greater good, man. Alright, let's continue.
Finally have some well-written Asian characters in media who are just normal people. Characters who are more than just an Asian stereotype doing 12-year-old Ching-Chong accent humor. Now let's have some fun and talk about whataboutisms.
What about that guy in Asia, the black guy? They were racist against him. Nobody's talking about that though. You're not the only one experiencing racism.
Basically, anytime an Asian person brings up discrimination, suddenly everyone will say, but what about black people, Hispanic Americans, LGBTQI+, vegans? They all face.
Okay, so yes, those races or gender, they face discrimination and racism, but that doesn't take away from Asian American facing racism. Just because they face racism doesn't discredit us.
Discrimination too is not just Asians. Yes, many people face discrimination. But that doesn't mean it's okay to ignore discrimination against Asians. Why don't you just stop discriminating against everyone? Another fantastic whataboutism is, what about Asians in Asia? They are racist. What about the CCP? They are bad. What does any of that have to do with Asian Americans?
Exactly.
Asian Americans are getting killed, assaulted, abused for no reason at all. And your justification is, some people in Asia are racist too. What? If you meet a racist Asian person, the right response is to call them out. Not go and beat up some random Asian grandma. And my personal favorite, why do you talk about discrimination when Asian Americans make the most money? You have a Rolex. Stop complaining about racism. That argument is as stupid as when people were complaining about Kendrick Lamar rapping about racism because he was rich. Just because some minorities can be successful doesn't mean racism and discrimination doesn't exist. They are successful despite racism and discrimination. And then we have, it's just a joke.
Hiya, Ching Chong Ding Dong. Relax, it can't be racist.
Who the hell is this guy, man? Who is this guy? I will find this guy in real life. And then I will educate him on Asian American.
It's comedy.
It's bizarre. In modern society, you can just be racist and hide behind it's just a joke. What's worse is Asian Americans let people get away with it, which only encourages them to do it more in the future. And when Asian Americans do speak up, they are told, don't be so sensitive.
What?
And when you combine all the dismissiveness and whataboutisms, it's understandable why, over time, so many Asian Americans eventually stop bringing awareness to their struggles, and sometimes even start suffering from internalized racism, which destroys their self-esteem and makes them even less likely to stand up for themselves in the future. Asian Americans are not the only minorities in America, and we all share similar struggles, and we all have a common enemy, racism. And we all know we are more likely to succeed if we all...
Yo, the elite right now, they are just enjoying this. I mean, if you guys read War Strategy, right? This strategy is called Divide and Conquer. So all these minority groups, they just hating and fighting each other and jacking up prices on everything for no reason, causing wealth inequality, and nothing is being done because people are too distracted. People are too distracted fighting each other, man.
Work together. However, all minorities will rightfully look to solve their own problems first, which is why it's so important for Asian Americans to understand this. We have to be the ones to lead our own fight. No one respects people who won't stand up for themselves, and you simply cannot expect other people to fight your battles for you. It felt like every single person was involved in Black Lives Matter. The entire world joined in. The movement will go down in history. Part of that is because Black Lives Matter was built on a strong foundation of Black Americans standing strong and united against social injustice. But Stop Asian Hate barely built any real momentum. We simply did not fight hard enough for long enough.
Damn it! Where was I during this movement? I could have done a Martin Luther King speech. Actually, no, I'll get assassinated. Fuck that. I'm gonna put my head down and work hard. The Asian way. It's how we've been taught and raised. Let other people fight, you know, we'll just put our head down. We will face discrimination. We'll get 6.0 GPA to get into Harvard. They'll keep breaking the game, but we'll keep winning. They can't stop us. That is the Asian way. We put our head down. We don't complain about anything. We let people beat us up. If they rob us, we'll just keep putting our head down and we'll buy a new house. Someone stole all the money in my wallet? That's no problem. I'll just get more money from work. Fuck standing up for myself. I do everything the Asian way. Bring on the discrimination. Pour water on my face. Beat up my grandpa and grandma. Burn us down, but we still make more money than you. We still have higher GPA than you. You will not stop us. We are Asian. You might make fun of us in the media. You might make fun of us for everything. But guess what? We'll still make more money than you.
If you never challenge the status quo, then nothing is ever going to change. That's why we all must start doing more to fight back against anti-Asian hate. And here are 5 ways we can all start doing that right now. When you are accustomed to privilege, equality feels like oppression. When you tell some people it's not okay to be racist, they will feel like you are trying to oppress them. That's why we must expect pushback and opposition anytime we spread awareness about anti-Asian hate and racism. The whataboutisms, the dismissiveness, the stop being sensitives. So don't be discouraged. No pushback will happen, and be ready to challenge them. And if someone tries to play off a racist comment as a joke, tell them, no, it's not a joke, and I would appreciate it if you stop saying that in the future. By saying
So this is good. He's not saying to cause violence or anything, but just stand up for yourself, guys. So when people make an Asian joke, you'd be like, hey, that's not okay. You know, when people make fun of Asian, you can just push back a little. You don't play along just to get along. Find people that will respect you for who you are. Jokes can be used as a tool to put down someone indirectly.
Saying nothing, you are allowing it to continue. And look, sometimes people genuinely don't know they are being racist, so it could be a great learning opportunity for everyone. And if someone tries to tell you social activism is pointless, tell them to look up human history. Sri Lankans overthrew their corrupt government in 2022. Then we have the civil rights movements, women's suffrage parade. History is full of examples of people who should be powerless, causing societal change. Challenging racism is never pointless.
A light bulb just popped up in my head. The way that Asians deal with discrimination and hate is we put our head down and then we just make more money than the other races. But that doesn't really tackle the issue, right, of discrimination. But Asian people just don't care, man.
Recently, I saw a video of 2 Asian teenagers defending an Asian grandma against a racist. We should all be proud of them. And this is a great reminder that, for your own safety, please get in good physical shape and learn self-defense. You must be able to defend yourself and your loved ones when trouble comes looking for you. I know some people will say, I don't want to cause any trouble, I just want to avoid conflict. But look, the conflict is already here. It's not avoidable. You should...
So, I used to think like this. I think to myself, okay, why should I learn self-defense? People will pull a knife on me or a gun on me. But there's a lot of benefit from learning self-defense. One is you have more confidence in yourself. It's like going to the gym, right? You exercise, you feel good, you become more confident. There will be time where people will try to fight you with hand to hand. And it's good to know some self-defense. And this is not just for Asian American, it's for everyone. It will boost your confidence. And hey man, if you're with a girl, right? And then someone try to rob you and then you beat the shit out of him, you're getting lucky that night, my friend. You're getting lucky that night. So that's a lot of benefit for learning self-defense, for sure.
You should never go looking for trouble. But if someone wants to bash Asians, they are not just going to leave you alone if you say, no, I don't want to be invoked. So please learn some self-defense. Most people do not know how to fight. So if you know the basics, it could save your life. And that's action step number 1. Become physically and mentally strong so we have the confidence to challenge hate. One thing every Asian can do is...
Let me show you guys the Asian way right now. Not this guy way, but the current Asian American way. Step 1, study. Step 2, study. Step 3, study. Step 4, study. Step 5, be a doctor. I fail at life. I'm not a doctor. So now I have to join up with this guy to fight discrimination by standing up for myself like what the other race have been doing. I'm such an Asian failure, guys.
Is raise awareness and support the people raising awareness about anti-Asian hate. Small things like liking, commenting, and sharing news reports about anti-Asian hate crimes. Supporting organizations like Stop AAPI Hate. At the very least on social.
We fighting everything on Facebook, on fucking YouTube. TikTok, we're fighting in the comment section. We Asian, we might not be able to fight in real life, man, but I'll fight you with my keyboard. Hey, we have to start somewhere, right? We have to start somewhere.
Social media, supporting your local grassroots movements, even just acknowledging their good work makes a world of difference. If you have family and friends in Asian countries, educate them about anti-Asian hate and help.
I try, man. I try. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. I tried, bro. This doesn't work. They don't care. And then they make fun of me for not being Asian enough. Goddamn Asian in Asian country. They don't know how much suffering I face.
How they can spread awareness. Because ultimately, racists hate all Asians, not just Asian Americans. And share your experiences with friends on social media, Reddit, whatever you feel comfortable with. It all helps in the end. Action step number 3.
No, I would never go into Israel and Palestine, man. I'm smarter than to go into something like that.
We must actively challenge self-hating Asians. If you don't know what self-hating Asians are, I made an entire video about it. Basically, self-hating Asians are Asians who hate being Asian, and they encourage people to be racist against Asians. The long-term goal is to help self-hating Asians learn to love themselves and respect who they are. But for now, just tell them to shut the f*** up. When you see a video like this, don't be this insecure kid seeking approval from racists and giving them permission to be racist. Be this legend here and challenge the self-hating Asian. Whenever I tell people to leave comments or speak up on social media against racism, some people always say, that's not going to change anything. But
you know, I think growing up, I did make a lot of Asian jokes, now that I think about it. But I didn't really hate my race. So I was known as like a comedian. I made fun of everything and everyone because the world was less sensitive when I was growing up. So I'll make fun of myself, I'll make fun of Asian, I'll make fun of the people I'm talking to. Everyone get roasted. But I see what he's saying, man. I see what he's saying. most of the, because Asian people are portrayed so badly in the public, in movies and TV shows. A lot of Asian, they kind of hate themselves, right? You hear a lot of women saying they don't date Asian guys.
But for better or worse, modern society is influenced by social media. And if we allow racism against Asians to spread unchallenged, then of course that's going to normalize racism, especially for younger people.
Stop eating so much cat and dog and bat with your nasty ass and red.
Everyone uses social media. You don't think countering racism on social media is going to help? Of course it will. So leave comments against racism. It helps. You don't even have to show your face to do it. And once more and more of us start taking action, naturally we are going to empower other Asians who are currently bystanders to start taking action too. People will join our fight against racism because in the end it's not just about Asians or other minorities. Every good person is against racism. If we examine society right now, everything is a battle for attention. Because if you have attention, then you have influence, and then you can start to shape people's beliefs and behaviors. That's why we must speak up, or else our challenges will always be overlooked and
It's so hard, man, because other races, people will always say, okay, you guys make more money, why are you complaining?
discrimination will continue to shape our lives. So stand up for yourself and fight for a world that judges you by your actions and words and not the color of your skin.
The pretending to be poor part seemed random, so I'll probably cut that part out.